everyone. Welcome to WGU Future RN. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, it's WGU_future_RN. And a lot of people who follow me on Instagram have been asking a lot of questions about Western Governor's pre-licensure nursing program. And so I've decided to make YouTube videos on the process, the admissions, clinicals, and labs, any questions y'all may have about the program, and all that good stuff. So this is my very first YouTube video. So let me introduce myself. I'm 25. I'm a mom of a 4-year-old, and I recently had a newborn. And I have been in this program for about a year now. I had to take a 6-month break due to my pregnancy and my labor. I'll have videos on that in the future about how WGU accommodated me with all of that. And I am ready to jump back in. I just started back my med-surg class on Monday. And that's about it. So let's talk about WGU's admissions. So what you want to do when you decide, hey, this is the right school for me, I like the online-based approach, I work, I have a family, and I think this is the school I want to go with, you're going to go to their website and you're going to apply. And there should be a free code. They have a new one every week, but I'll post the one for this week up in the comments or at the end of this video. So you're going to want to take that code and you're going to want to apply. And when you apply, you want to make sure you have all of the following things ready. And that is a letter of intent, a professional resume, one professional letter of recommendation, your T-score, and your prereqs completed, and your transcripts. First and foremost, you want to send in your transcripts. This takes about a week to 2 weeks for them to evaluate and get back to you on what classes transferred and what classes didn't. So you want to get those turned in as soon as possible after you apply. Next, you want to make sure that you have your prereqs completed. So if they hit back with, oh, you don't have this class, it didn't get approved or it didn't go through, you're going to have to retake the classes, or if you're missing some prereqs, you're going to have to retake those. And they do have a list of the prereqs. I would recommend having those completed before you apply. It just makes things go faster, it makes things easier. But if you don't, some people have to apply sooner than later to get the ball rolling, and you have options. So a few of those options for your prereqs are: take them at a community college, CLEP out of the class that you're trying to get credit for. So say if it's history or math, WGU has an option where you can pay to take a test. If you make a certain percentage, they will give you credit for that class. Or a lot of people that I know personally in this program do Straightliner. It's a website called Straightliner. It allows you to do all of your prereqs at an accelerated pace. You pay a certain amount of money every month, and you can take as many classes as you want. How long it takes to do the classes really depends on you. If you're working on the class every day, it could take a week. If you're, working here and there, doing what you need to do outside of the classes, it could take a month or two. But this is a way better option for people trying to hurry up and get their prereqs done and get into WGU and get accepted, rather than taking a whole semester of classes and having to actually physically go to a school. Now, the bad thing about Straightliner is, yes, WGU accepts the credits, but let's say you don't get accepted into WGU and you want to go to a different school. Not every school will accept those credits, so you will lose out on money unless you find another school that accepts those credits. So, with that being said, I'll post a link and a picture of the prereqs that WGU wants you to have completed at the end of this video. So next is your TEAS score. You want to have your TEAS completed before you apply. I don't recommend applying before you have that done because it could take a while to study and to pass it. You really want to take your time and get a good score on your TEAS. Now, I made a 78 on the TEAS, which is an advance, so not terrible, but I feel like I could have done way better and got a way better score. However, I was applying to a different school before I found WGU, and they only gave me a week to get that done. That was my deadline, and so I had a week to study, and thank God I was fresh out of anatomy and micro, so I studied the best I could in a week, and I just wung it, and I took the test, and I made a 78, and I was happy with that. It was good enough to get into that program and good enough to get into this program, so, but WGU is getting very competitive. People are starting to find out about this school. It works for a lot of people's schedules and lifestyles, and so in some areas like California and Houston, Texas, they're starting to get pretty competitive. So you're going to want to score high 80s, 90s on the TEAS. So if it takes you a month or two to study for that test and get that grade, that's what I would do. Now, there have been people to get into those areas with 60s, 70s. So I wouldn't cut yourself out just yet, just because you got a 60. I would still apply. But if you're not getting accepted into a cohort, go ahead and study and retake the TEAS. It does not hurt. WGU will take your highest score. So that's the TEAS test. And some of those things I used to study for that was the ATI TEAS book and some Quizlets. But like I said, I didn't have a very long time frame to study for that test. Also, you're going to want a letter of intent. This is your time to brag about yourself. Tell WGU. They want to know how you're going to succeed in this online program where you have to motivate and teach yourself. What's your support system like to make sure you get through this program? What makes you shine out of all the other applicants? What makes you want to be a nurse and go to nursing school? What are your degrees and certificates that are going to help you in this particular program? Brag about yourself in this letter. WGU wants to know everything about what makes you you and what makes you different and how you're going to get this program done. Then a professional resume. You can find these templates anywhere on Google, and I just put in my work experience, my certificates, any degrees I have, and then my professional letter of recommendation. I don't work, so I just got a professor and an advisor to write mine. So any teacher, any advisor, any maybe like a pastor where you volunteer at, or somebody in the hospital, if you volunteer in hospitals or you work in a hospital, just get some type of professional person to write your letter of recommendation. After you have all of this, that's when I would apply. Once you apply and you have everything done and you upload it into the system, it'll take about a week or two, and your admissions counselor will call you and let you know if you've been accepted or not. They'll assign you to a cohort, and you'll just wait until your start date. You'll start your orientation, and everything goes good from there. And you're accepted, and everything's good. If you don't get accepted, it's not the end of the world. They have cohorts starting every month, every other month. You can also ask your admissions counselor to put you in different areas. So for me, I am in the Dallas area. However, I told them to put me in the Houston area, the surrounding Dallas areas, surrounding Houston areas. So I was in all of those pool of applicants. And tons of people have gotten in that way. It might not be where you want to be, but you still get into the program. You might have to drive an hour, hour and a half, but tons of students do it. And also tons of students travel from other states and other areas just to go to school. So if you do not live in Texas, it's okay to still apply in Texas. Now, I know they're getting kind of picky with that. I wouldn't necessarily tell them right off the bat you're not in Texas. I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to, or maybe just tell them, hey, yes, I know I'm not in Texas, but I can fly, I can stay in a hotel, I have a great support system, so I know I can get this program done. But I do know lots of students that fly in from Florida, Georgia, California, that come to cohorts in Texas. I've done it. I live in Texas, but I drive 2 hours to my clinical and my labs. My husband travels a lot, so there was a time where I was driving from Georgia to Texas to do this program, and now we are actually living in Houston right now, and I'm having to drive 5 hours to clinicals and labs. It can be done. It's hard, but it's worth it. And I will also do a separate video on that, traveling while in school, how to get Wi-Fi, all that stuff, for those of you who want to travel and see if you can really succeed doing it. I do it, you can do it. So just jump right in. I researched this school for about 6 months. I was very hesitant on the accreditation. Will employers, accept my degree, higher up schools like graduate programs, because I want to be an NP one day. So I was really nervous about this school, but I really believe that WGU does the best it can and really cares about its students, and that this was the best school for me. They have really good accreditation, CCNE accredited. When I decided to apply, they had a 90% pass rate on the NCLEX. I know tons of students personally that just passed their NCLEX and got graduated and got jobs even before they graduated at very big hospitals in the Houston and Dallas areas, also in Utah areas. So people are graduating, people are passing their NCLEX, and people are getting jobs with this degree. Higher education is a little tricky. So the way WGU works is they give you a 3.0 GPA, because we're pass or fail. So you either pass the class or you fail the class. Now, is that competitive for a lot of NP programs? No. But do NP programs accept that GPA and accept WGU degrees? Yes, they do. I've spoken to some of them. UTA, especially in Dallas, told me that they do accept WGU, and 3.0 GPAs is what you need to get into their master's program. But I mean, you won't be as competitive as other students, but that's okay. There's tons of NP programs out there. Now, if you want to go to a specific one and WGU's 3.0 isn't going to be good for you, then this isn't the school for you. Another thing would be WGU wants you to have a 2.5 GPA overall to get into the program, a 60% on the T's, and a 60% in reading. My stats were, I had a 3.7 overall GPA, a 3.5 in sciences, and a 78 on the T's, and a 90 on the reading portion. So if that helps anybody on stats of kind of what it takes to get in. I know a lot of people who have had 60s on the T's, who have had 2.7 GPAs get in. I really think WGU takes everything that I've named in this video that you turn in at application time. They take it into consideration, and they really pick you based on your overall application, and not just, oh, she doesn't have that great of a GPA or that great of a T's. So that's what's good about this program. So if you're hesitant and you're researching, don't research anymore. Just jump in and do it. I did it. I love this program. I think it's great for working adults and people with families. People are doing great in the program, so don't let any reviews scare you. There are its ups and downs, but that's with any nursing program. So I also have a second video I'm going to do today about admissions into the clinical part of this program. You go through admissions twice. You get accepted into the prelicensure, which is what I just told you about, and you do your 6 months of your pre-classes and show WGU that you can do an online school and that you're successful. So I'll go over all of that in my next video for the second part of the program. After you apply and get admitted and you get that acceptance, you're good to go to orientation and everything. You will do an intake interview before you get accepted. People get nervous about that. It's nothing. It's not even an interview. Don't know why they call it that. They literally, all they do is tell you about the school and the technology requirements that you will need. You'll need a computer, you'll need Wi-Fi. It'll tell you about your labs and your clinicals. It'll tell you about what to look forward to when you get accepted into the second portion of the program and everything you need to do to get started. So with that being said, that's the end of the video. So if you have any questions about anything that I have said in this video, any comments, leave them down below. If there's something that I didn't touch base on, let me know. If there's something you would like to know more about that I didn't really go into much detail, let me know and I will do a video on it. I have a lot more coming, a lot more content. I've just got to wrap my head around, what I want to do and what people want to know. So just let me know in the comments and that'll help me out a lot. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe this video and follow my Instagram. Thank you. Bye.